Good morning, everyone. As you can see, we're gearing up for a nice late summer ride on the trikes this morning. So my friend Mike will be riding this ATC250SX that you can say I recently got it. It's got a big rack on the back, as you can see. Pretty cool. I dig it. Chose to leave it. Maybe it'll come in handy today. Just mounted a new headlight guard. Got that off eBay, put a fresh coat of satin paint on it. And I'll be piloting this big girl, 85 Big Red. Couple upgrades. You can check through my videos to see what exactly has been done to it. But should be a great day. We got a lot of rain yesterday, so we're expecting a lot of mud today. And that equates to a lot of fun on these girls. See you on the trails.
And here we go. So we are up in Vernon, New Jersey, riding with my friend Sabri, who is on the lead trike, which is an 86 Big Red. He's got some awesome ITP rims on it. I'm not sure what the tires are. They might be Bear Claws. Little lake back there. The middle trike is being piloted by my friend Mike, and that is my 85 ATC250X, and he is riding that trike, or any trike, for the first time in probably 20 years. But I do trust him because he is an outstanding dirt bike rider and is a beast on his KTM. So it's not like he's completely green. Oh, there he's getting some two-wheel action. Good correction. Little hop hop. There he goes! Get some! So this trail, at least so far, isn't nearly as wet as I was expecting it to be. Which is a good thing, I guess, for the sake of me having to clean a lot of mud off later, but I think we can all agree that it's a lot of fun to get some mud on the tires. So with the exception of Sabri's wheels and tires, I think his only other upgrade to that trike is an LED headlight. Oh, never mind. I can see an aftermarket exhaust on there now. The 250SX is completely stock. And there. That's cool, man. Little fire pit, that's awesome. That's an interesting little contraption. Little log hop. So anyways, I was saying that 250SX is totally stock. The tires were upgraded on it because the originals were completely dry-rotted. So those are Kenda Scorpions, which is exactly what I have on the front of this Big Red. Old jogger. On the rear of this Big Red that I'm riding are Kenda Bear Claws. I've got an MBRP exhaust on this baby, as well as a front LED headlight. Woo! Some hidden rocks on this trail. Gotta be careful. It's got a Honda line trip meter on it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that 250SX up ahead does have a really large aftermarket rack, which I'm sure you've noticed by now. If you check out my video walk around of that trike, you'll see a better photo of it, or better view of it anyway. It's actually turned out to be quite useful. Make sure you're hanging cheeks, boys and girls. Make sure you're steering with your butts on these trikes. You want to keep 3 wheels down at all times. Well, as much as we can anyway. Creeping down this hill right here. So on these rocky parts, it might also behoove you to raise your butt off the seat, because it'll toss you around quite a bit. And when your butt is off the seat, it's also beneficial to stay light on your feet and allow your knees to act like your shock absorbers. We'll hop. Lots of off-camber turns on this ride, which makes for a very interesting and English-laden riding experience. Oh, nice save, Mikey. There you go. That's why I trust him on my trikes. He's actually the only person I've ever let ride my trikes. Northern New Jersey, friends. Roots, rocks, trees, and mud. Lots of rocks, as you can probably tell by now. So while we're riding, I'll give you a little plug to the rest of the little wheelies up the hill. I'll join in. To the rest of my videos, if you haven't seen them yet, please give them a look. I am primarily an ATC or 3-wheeler channel, or at least I try to be, because I do love these machines so much. But hill climb. time. I do cover a lot of the other machines that I do own, which don't always have 3 wheels. So check out those videos, give them a like, subscribe to the channel. Woo! I try to upload content whenever I can. It's tough to do. With a full-time job, 2 kids and a wife. But luckily, I have a very understanding wife, super cool kids, so they do allow me to have my fun as much as I can. It's so funny to watch people getting bounced around like crazy. Yeah, buddy! Pick it up. Nice. So my Big Red is all ready for the winter. These are Tusk heated hand grips. These things are super fun to ride in the winter. Wow, these trails are gnarly. There's a little wheelie. From what I've noticed, there seems to be, at least to my findings, way more of the 250 of the 250Rs. Go get him, Mikey! Excuse me, of the 250R bikes down in South Jersey, because I would imagine that has to do with more of the sand that exists down there. But those 250Rs up here in North Jersey, I gotta tell you, they'd be pretty challenging to ride. I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure there's a somebody out there who's tackled these trails on the 250R, but it's so much more enjoyable with 4 strokes and reverse. And now, I guess we'll be taking a little break. Thanks for joining us thus far. I'll check back with you soon. Here we go again. First gear crawl this rock item. So I apologize in advance because I did not pack an extra battery pack or memory card for this ride. So if this is abruptly cut short for you, oh, ow, I'm sorry. But I would imagine watching an idiot riding a 3-wheeler through the woods can only be entertaining for so long. You're gonna get the itch and want to do it yourself. So here's a plug for Sabri. He actually started a group on Facebook called NJ Big Reds, and that is pretty much what you would expect it to be, a gathering or social media group focused on Big Red owners in northern New Jersey. But we do not discriminate. If you've got a trike, would like to join up, send us a request. I am a moderator on that group as well. We'll get you in. We try to organize group rides like this. Obviously it's tough. I've got dear friends of mine who I'd love to get out riding, but they are 100% dead set on quarantining and socially distancing and all that jazz, which, listen, I totally understand it is important, but how close are we possibly getting on these trails? This is the best way you can socially distance. Nice, Mike. Poor Mike's gonna get his kidneys handed to him by a trike today, and he's gotta work tonight. But he wanted to come. I've also got some additional social media groups or social media outlets that you can find on Instagram. Follow me at ATC of NJ. That's it, ATC of NJ. On Facebook we are ATC of New Jersey, and obviously we are on YouTube because that's where you're joining us now. Nice, Mike. Because that trailer hitch on the back of that thing is pretty low. It's been catching a lot of rocks. Crazy because I've looked, that 250SX is a completely adequate quad, or excuse me, sacrilege. It's a completely adequate trike for most people, and it seems big enough. Mike's a pretty fit dude. It's handling him just fine. But when I look at my Big Red with those big burly Kenda bear claws and that big nice, Mikey! That big Pirelli Scorpion on the front, the Big Red absolutely dwarfs that 250SX, dwarfs it, even with the rack on the back. It's crazy. So, having said that, this 250SX is way more nimble than this Big Red will ever be. Hang that cheek, baby, hang that cheek! I'm also recording on a lower resolution today because I've noticed that the 1080 eats up a ton of media card or SD card space as well as battery life. So hopefully this will buy me some space and time to share as much of this ride with the rest of you as I can. But let's be real, most people aren't watching this video on a 4K television or a big screen. It's most likely a trike fanatic like me watching another trike fanatic ride their trike through the woods while taking a dump. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling you out. The viewer of this video is most likely taking a poop. But that's cool. Nature calls, so do trikes. This is awesome. I really like this trail. It's the first time I've ever been here. I consider Sabri a dear friend of mine. Low gear up this hill, nice. And he was super excited that we came up and visited him here today because, truth be told, he's about 40 minutes from my house. It's not that close. So it's a little bit of a hike. Took some effort, but you know what? He's worth it, and so are trikes. crossing, lock the wheel, pick your butt up, you'll hop right over. Tips by Rich. So it looks like the trike market, as popular as I thought it was when I got into this about, I'd say, maybe probably about 2 years ago. I think I got my first trike. Can't let Mikey do it by himself. Nice. The trike market has exploded. It has absolutely exploded, probably to a point where a lot of people probably didn't expect it to. All OEM, mint condition ATC250Rs, going for $15,000. There was a recently a crated, never assembled TRX70. I know, not a trike, but still pretty cool. A crated TRX70 going for $20,000. So, if you're going to get into this sport or this hobby or whatever you want to call it, I'd highly recommend getting into it soon, because these prices will make these machines unobtainable at some point. A little bit of a wrong turn there. I want to film you, baby. I saw a fairly clean, not mint condition by any means, but very clean 88 TRX 250R selling for $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000. That's crazy. It's crazy, but correct me if I'm wrong. My suspicion is this: all the people that enjoyed these machines when they were younger and when they were actually cheap sold them off, crashed them, whatever, what have you, ended up aging a little bit, getting older, starting families, and getting that nostalgic itch for the machines that were, or that they held so dearly when they were children. So what drives a market? The answer is supply and demand. Granted, Honda produced a ton of these three-wheelers, but as you would expect, a lot of them got destroyed, crashed, neglected, rusted out. This is cool. We get some mud here. So all those people want to get into these trikes and quads again. They're driving the market. And here we are today. Ratty ATC250Rs, 85, 86, going for $5,000. People think they find a three-wheeled object in their grandpa's barn that they inherited there for 20 years. They think it's a pot of gold, but unfortunately, a lot of the times, it's a rusted piece of junk that requires a ton of effort and, of course, money to get going again. See, this is what I love. I love going through mud. And so do these things. Nice. Give her hell, baby boy! Yeah, baby boy! That's the best. It's not exactly mud like you'd find down in the south, where people go mud bogging in these things and they put freaking 2-foot lift kits on them and stuff, but it'll get our jollies off on little mud holes like that. Man, this is rutted to hell. Woo, had to drop a foot there. That's a no-no. Want to keep your feet on these things, ladies and gents. It's a fatal flaw on a trike, because if you drop that foot, what's coming after it is the rear tire. So on these trikes, when you get a little off-camber rut like that, keep your front wheel like this in the outside rut. That'll keep your stability, because when you're up on that berm in the middle, or the high spot, you don't have much control or traction, because you're going to want to come off the crown. Holy smokes, this is some gnarly stuff. My back is going to be on fire tomorrow. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Yeah, there you go. Sabri put a little bit more weight over the back wheels. They hooked up. Looks like Mike might have to do the same. There he goes. And I'll just hop in first gear. Nice and low. Whoa, maybe I spoke too soon. Easiest route. Let's see here. Smarter, not harder, ladies and gentlemen. Smarter, not harder. Very important lesson that a lot of us dudes forget. Take a step back, assess, and reroute if necessary. Although it's much more fun to be a stubborn dude and send it, especially if you've got a couple adult beverages in you. This thing, that was a pretty wet, steep hill. Looks like we'll take a break here. Catch up with you soon. And here we go again. Right back to where we were. Lots, oh God, lots of rocks. So, all these stops you're seeing, these trikes shake you up quite a bit. So if you've got to pee, it's gonna beat the pee right out of you. That's awesome. Make sure I'm in first. So what I noticed with this bike was, this trike, Jesus, gotta stop using the wrong words. It was smoking a little bit the past couple of days. I've actually been using it itself. kind of analyzed the smoke, and it looked to me like it was black. And that is typically a sign of a rich fuel mixture. So I leaned it out a little bit to the point that it's still running evenly and nicely. The smoke's gone. So that's a relief. Ooh, Sabri is going for it. Mikey seemed to take the path of least resistance. Sabri. Go get him, Sab. What are you doing, Mike? Where are you going? I think I'm going to follow Sabri's lead. Yeah, baby boy. Just got to go for it. Get out of Mike's way here because he's going to come over the top. Oh, there he goes. Caught wheels. Caught wheels. You good, Mikey boy? There he goes. Truth be told, that 250SX has less clearance under the body than these Big Reds do. Oh, he went over again.
Double whammy.
Double whammy, Mikey boy. He's gonna need a break after this. I'll check back for you guys. All right, just figured out how to get back into video mode. So now I'm going to play a little bit of catch up with Mike and Saab. They're gonna think I crashed or something because I'm way behind them. But if you have any experience trail riding, that's what you do. Might get some air. Me too. If you have any experience trail riding, that's what you do. You wait. You never know if someone's just taking a little bit longer or if they're hurt. Nice. So during our break, we were discussing the shortfalls or downfalls of a 250SX versus a Big Red. And the main thing that Mike just experienced was lack of ground clearance. He got hung up on a rock, tried to shimmy his way around, get some traction, tires finally hooked, and threw him backwards. This is pretty gnarly. That was me almost going over. So in my opinion, three-wheeler is obviously a lot more tippy than a quad, but threading the needle through rocks and around different obstacles and stuff, I think these things are way superior. Mikey, yes. When we stopped, Mike was like, these things are beating the hell out of me, or something to that effect. When I typically ride with Mikey, we little So on the docket of my Big Red is straightening that front rack, and I'm probably gonna end up redoing the forks on it. They're not leaking, but I highly suspect suspect. There's that ground clearance. I highly suspect that they were never redone or refreshed or whatever you want to call it. So there's probably 30-year-old sludge in those forks. I've actually redone a set of Big Red forks before, and a Big Red that I owned before this one, and it was actually cake. It was very easy. Where did he come from? So if you own a Big Red and you got some leaky fork seals and they're in need of some attention, don't be afraid. There is actually a very outstandingly done YouTube video detailing the entire process. I forgot the name of the gentleman that did it, but he did such a phenomenal job on it. I would like to commend him, and if I can figure out how to put a link into this video, you'll see it right now, and I'll link you to his video. If there is no link, there is a search function that you can find it with. There you go. Ooh, boy, I saw that happening. Might need low on this one. Yeah. The low gear in these Big Reds is so amazing. Yeah. Now, mind you, suspension has never been on this bike. Not a single tick, not a single puff of smoke outside of it running rich by, that was my fault. These things are so incredibly bomb proof that it's almost ridiculous. And that's why we're still enjoying them and romping on them 30 years later. The drop a foot there again. I was going over. But low speed, no harm, no foul. Little river crossing here. That's what I like to see. Yeah, get it muddy. Mikey wheeling, catches the trailer hitch on a rock, tosses him right back down. Hello, Mike. Oh, wrong gear. We can all have a little bit of fun that way. No kidding, we did a big loop? Cool. Oh yeah, no kidding. Sabri is like the mayor of this area. Knows all the nooks and crannies. Hello. Mikey's having a very eventful day today. But he's actually doing great. There are people who have asked me to come back riding back here with me in the past, and I would never ever let them ride my bikes, because I know what the end result would be, and that's pretty much catastrophic destruction of my machine and or possibly permanent disfigurement, injury, or death on their part. Mike's a good dude. He's doing fantastic. feel like a life coach right now. You can do it, Mike. Realistically, he's been riding these things for longer than I have. He's just had a longer hiatus. So, I think I'm going to look into getting some stump guards for this thing. I believe there's a gentleman named Scott Talbert, and if I got your name wrong, I really apologize, but he's the only man that is currently producing stump guards for Big Reds. So I'm gonna have a set on order from him, and those stump guards will actually do a great job in protecting the rear fenders, the bottoms of the rear fenders for that matter, from being damaged. This is so beautiful back here. So I guess there's some different schools of thought. Some people will claim that off-road vehicles such as this, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, they are detrimental to the environment. My argument is this. These trails have been already cut by somebody else, even people hiking. All we're doing is following them. My friends and I that ride together, we never leave garbage behind. We always bring out what we bring in. And that's the most important lesson, people. If you want to keep enjoying your off-road vehicles, if you want to keep having these rights, make sure you're not polluting the environment, because that's what's gonna get in the way. But anyway, here we are. I hope you've enjoyed the ride. Thank you, Sabri. Mike, you good? Mike's a beaten puppy. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Ride safe and take care. Look at this animal.